What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Busy Six, the Geekiverse's all video game talk show. We're streaming live at twitch.tv/the Geekiverse on this snowy night
Snowy Snipe.
in Buffalo, New York. I can talk. I'm good at it. I can talk just as well as John can have that drink and not choke.
Hey, come on, man. I'm drowning over
I'm
here.
sorry. Don't drown again. It's snowing, John. Oh my goodness gracious. We've got a lot of really good stuff to talk about today. I'm really excited about this, really, as I always am. But today, we're talking about God of War Ragnarok impressions. John has sunk some time into this beauty of a game. We're talking about the Game Award nominees, and we're going to have a little bit of a competition and make some predictions here and actually keep track for once. How about that? And then, of course, at the end of the show, we've got Guess the Game, our favorite new segment. And I've got what I think is a really good game. So we'll talk about that when the time comes. Thanks again for tuning in. John, are you feeling better now that we've kind of cleared the...
I've wondered this my entire life. If you choke on water enough to the fact where you pass away, would your cause of death be drowning? Like you drown, right? Like you have been asphyxiated by water. That's drowning.
Well, Lauren would probably know this.
We're gonna have to consult
Lauren,
her. We'll circle back
probably
next.
not up. But Josiah's Pool Girl, if you're in the chat, we would like to know the answer to that question.
We'll circle back next week if we don't know. But like that's got to be considered drowning, right? I would be the one. I'd be the one to on my death certificate say like cause of death drowning. But you ask how'd he do it? Drinking water. Like
he wasn't even near water, like minus the water that he tried.
He was in his office sitting in a chair. How'd he drown? Water bottle.
It was live on Twitch. Oh my gosh. Well, that got dark fast, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk video games. We love video games, of course, but what else do we love? Beer. And you know what? I've got a really good one tonight. Well, I don't know that it's really good because I haven't tried it, but it looks really good. John, because you're going to be our show and tell person, why don't you go first on beer?
So the fact that you haven't tried it yet means you didn't save one of those Minky Sunrises, I guess. I know you had that already.
Dude, so, okay. I had saved one of those cans for last week if we were going to record, and I struggled to
make
one.
it.
This is controversial, I know, because I didn't save John a can. I'm a bad friend. But that point aside, I wanted to save it so bad, and when we weren't recording, I was like,
Done.
it's done.
It's over.
And it was over. My quick reaction on that, so all Minky Boodle is good. The variations I've had, we had Minky Day, which was 4 different variations of that, plus another 4 that you could kind of get as guest brews with other breweries. This one is not far off from the original Minky Boodle, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That being said, it is just different enough to have that extra fruity flavor that's not raspberry. So I do like it, but I saw Thin Man was selling discounted 4-packs if you're able to get there tonight before the snow madness.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kind
that's
of
really cool.
A moot point now, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, what do you got? What's about to be in your system?
I've got a big one. I've got one of the top dogs. I got the Heady Topper. Got the Heady Topper from The Alchemist. And usually I'm well aware when this stuff is making its way to Buffalo. Usually something like a Aurora Brew Works or even like a consumer. Somebody's posted about it on Instagram saying, hey, Alchemist is coming our way. Come on and grab it. I just happened to be going to Wegmans before my buddy's birthday party. I'm like, oh, I should pick up some beers. And the two little shelves were stocked full of Heady Topper. I'm like, what is going on? Is it my birthday? What's happening? So I grabbed a couple 4-packs. Always good to have. It's the OG, man. Like it is the original Northeast style IPA. Like Heady Topper and Focal Banger from The Alchemist. Like they are the guys that they pioneered this kind of stuff. It's still so good. It's my favorite style of IPA. It's like a Northeast style, which you kind of call nowadays a West Coast style because it's bitter, it's hoppy, right? But that's it kind of originated here in the Northeast. I'm a big fan. Anytime it comes around, I snag it up. I've been there. Went there last fall. Beautiful place. Great beer.
I am excited to try one of those. I got to make my way to Wegmans eventually here.
Oh, it's gone. I was there the next day and it was gone.
Well, one of these shadow drops, I'm going to get there and just see it. It's going to be awesome. But that being said, I'm going... So we went with 2 non-locals today, which is interesting because usually one of us at least has a Buffalo-based beer.
Yeah.
I've got from North Dakota, Drecker Brewing Company. We've got... so Drecker, by the way... So this is new to me. A good friend of mine got this for me. Her brother lived out that way, and they specialize in stuff that is kind of similar to froth. However, What do we got here? I love this can art.
I was just gonna say, hold that up. That's a can that I'm buying that beer based on the can alone.
Cyber Scream.
Oh,
Love it.
I'm all in.
You know, just like the cyberpunk kind of pink that we became accustomed to with the game a few years ago. A Nordic triple IPA.
Oh my God. You're speaking my language, dude. Are you kidding me right now?
I am. Hang on. Woo! That smells delish.
Triple. What's the percentage on that? Are we talking 10 plus on a triple?
Hang on. I think it's 10, but I haven't looked at it. It's gonna pour in real quick. What do we have? What do we have here?
Yeah, that can art is just incredible. Sometimes it's hidden, sometimes it's not. I mean, I think it legally has to be there, but sometimes I can't find it. It's like, I don't care. I don't care enough.
It's got to be somewhere.
Yeah,
whatever. I'll find it throughout the show.
Moot point.
But you know what?
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers, brother.
A friendly competition. Yeah.
You and I, man, obviously we're on the same page with a lot of this stuff. It's funny that we bring kind of like, we go opposite corners of the country here with relatively similar styles.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Sounds good. It looks good. I'm jealous.
Well, I'm out of here. Good stuff. All right. Show and tell. You got a show and tell for this?
I got a show and tell. It's so we're going to be talking about what's in our system. You're watching this show on YouTube. You see it in the headlines. We're going to be talking God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok came out last Wednesday. Josiah, what else came out last Wednesday? God of War Ragnarok DualSense, of course. So you and I both have our hands on this. It's something I wasn't even sure I wanted. I just clicked buy because it was selling out fast. So I'm just that's the kind of willpower I have. If you know me as a person, that's me. I've grown to love it. What I've said is this is my first unnecessary DualSense purchase. It is the first one that is unnecessary. Why do I say that?
Why? Why do you say that?
Why do I say that? I have a charger down in my living room where I play my PS5 that I can dock 2 DualSense controllers. So I play one, and then if I'm playing long enough to where it dies, I can dock it and I can grab the second one. I'm never short on battery with my DualSense. That's practical. Okay, that's good. John, you have a third one? I do. That's on my wall right next to me. My white one is dedicated specifically for my PC. This is my PC controller. It's on my wall right next to my computer. So that's a perfect setup. Why would you need another one? You don't. That's the answer. I don't need this. I did not need a fourth DualSense, but I love it. It's cute. It's cool. I love the white PlayStation button. That's like become my favorite part about it. Every time I go to press that, I'm like, oh, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Dude, I can't believe I forgot to bring that on because I knew deep down that you were going to have it as well. And it would have been great to, bring the dual show and tell.
Would have been good.
That being said, I didn't love the design of this DualSense when we saw it originally, but like you, I was like, I gotta get the pre-order in.
Yeah,
so I
you
did.
Cancel if you want to, right? Return it.
Of course, I wasn't gonna cancel it. If I get to that point, I'm not canceling.
No chance.
Usually. So, I showed Daisy this a while ago, and she was all about it, and she kept talking about it. She goes, "Dad, we getting that new controller? I have the white one. I've got the black one. I've got the purple one, which is my favorite. It's also Daisy's favorite, so I haven't seen it in months." And then we've got a pink one because they were on sale. And I was like, Daisy, you would love this. You got a pink one. I'll take the purple back. She goes, no, you play with the pink one. So that was failed. So I told her about this one and I was really excited. I'm like, I think we're going to get that controller. Just, maybe don't tell mom. Just don't bring it up. So we get it. And everyone's basically going to bed. I go, Daisy, come here. And I unbox it with her. I'm like, look at this. She goes, we got the controller? She goes, you love that game. I go, I love that game. I haven't played it yet, but I know I will with the Ragnarok logo. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. She goes over to Lauren and goes, Mom, do you see our new controller? I go, Daisy, you had one job.
You had one job.
Lauren didn't see it delivered, anything.
I just realized for the first time they had the God of War Ragnarok logo on the back.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
This, again, not in love with this control, but I think this is the first DualSense like tailored to a game.
It is. It is the first. It is the first like non, like unibody colored DualSense. It's the first like special edition DualSense. So it's like part of history in that way.
Yeah, and honestly, I was like, this could literally be a white controller that just someone wrote God of War on it, and I probably would get it because I love this game so much. And like the Sabres jerseys that we have purchased and maybe not purchased, they're not going to come around again. So you got to kind of get it while it's hot. However, the last part of the story for my Ragnarok controller is I have successfully been able to use my purple one again because Daisy wants to use this one.
Now it's all sticky now. The triggers don't work. 8 months later.
The second she saw it, she's like, I'll use that one. And you can use the purple one. She goes, Dad, you always want to use the purple one. I was like, who are you? Are you kidding me right now? So all is well that ends well, I guess. But that's when I want to kind of try to keep to the side. So I have 5 DualSenses now. And at work, we have this rewards system with points that you can get stuff out of a catalog. They just got rid of gift cards. But do you know what they added? They added DualSenses.
Really?
Yes.
What?
They have a lot of like electronics, things like that. I did not expect this. Usually it's like, here's Call of Duty, the original Modern Warfare that you can get for so many points. Like,
right.
What? Who cares? Or like Nintendo DS games. They have DualSenses and they have the blue one. And I have almost the amount of points for it. So at this point, I'm like, do I just go in and
Dude, the second this arrived here, I'm like, I've got 4 of these. Do I just go full send and get all the DualSenses? Do I just be the guy that has them all? Are we at that point where we should just have them all? I don't know, man.
Up here, John, so like where I record, you know the layout. Eventually, like I want to make this into a full studio for us and maybe a workspace too. I'm thinking about on the wall where the TV and maybe the mounted like PlayStation would be, because they kind of make really cool wall mounts nowadays. I would love to kind of display some of those, because obviously you're not going to need more than 4 at a time, which is a stretch to begin with, because how often do we get together to physically play?
Right, let's see if this works.
Like,
oh, it worked. Oh my god, it worked. I did not expect that to work. Yeah, so that's how I have my DualSense up there.
That's my vision for the DualSenses that I would have. So
right.
like I'd have colors. I don't know. That just seems cool to me. You get a nice backlight, and we're talking some sweet ass gamer setup.
Right, for sure. And like these were on Amazon. You can hang headphones or controllers on them because they're like rounded at the top. So like it's perfect. The headphones I have on now are supposed to be right up there, obviously. But yeah, controller hangs out right there. Grab a couple of those bad boys. Amazing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Good stuff. This seems like a very PlayStation centric episode now. Speaking of which, let's talk about what's in your system. And I think for both of us, it's pretty much one game. Now, my game has been relegated to about 90 minutes or so in the last week. So that's exactly how far I am in God of War Ragnarok. John, I'll talk a little bit about my experience because it's bite-sized, but I want you to really elaborate on what you've seen. Obviously, spoiler-free.
Josiah, before you do that, I have played. Yeah. So we're talking about what we're playing, right? We're going to both go into Ragnarok. I have played more Marvel Snap every day since I downloaded it than you have God of War Ragnarok in total. I have played at least 90 minutes of Marvel Snap every day since I downloaded it. And you've only played 90 of God of War Ragnarok. That's all I'm saying. It's all gaming podcast. That's all I'm saying. Who's the gamer? I don't know.
It's a struggle. It hit me today that I was like, I don't know if I'm qualified to do this anymore.
I'm not saying I'm not making any accusation. I'm just laying out facts for.
No, I am
for maybe an eventual court case. I don't know.
What is the court case that I made you choke on your water?
I didn't say. I allegedly. I don't know. What are you talking about?
This show is off the rails. So, God of War Ragnarok. I'm smiling as I'm starting to play this game. I'm taking my time in the menu beforehand. I'm enhancing everything. I'm looking at all the options. And I start playing, and I'm just smiling because I'm thinking to myself, they did it again. We know from the critical reception, all the 10 out of 10s we're seeing, lightning struck twice, ironically enough. Unbelievable. And it feels good. It feels maybe even better than the first game, which I didn't think was possible. We see some familiar faces right off the get-go in a really fun chase sequence. We get some really big revelations. We get why we're doing what we're doing. We get a little bit older Atreus. We get a super emotional moment with Atreus. We get not a flashback, but an homage to early portions of the first game between Kratos and Atreus. And you see just that little personality from Kratos, and it is. As we know, like I preach to everybody, I'm not a big believer in, hey, you have to play every game in a series before the next one comes out. The payoff is immense if you've played the first God of War and you dive into God of War Ragnarok. It
This
is
thi-
superb.
this might be the exception to that rule. This might, like, I'm usually with you. Like, you don't have to watch the thing before you saw the thing. You almost have to play God of War before you play Ragnarok. Like, you are missing out on so much. Like, it is like, of course you could watch a YouTube video. They even have a recap in the game. Not that great, honestly. It's kind of just like a quick montage. You can certainly watch the story, but like this is God of War 2018 Part 2 for sure.
Dude, it is just like the way I look at it, I totally agree with all that. Y'all know I'm a huge Batman Arkham fan, and Arkham Asylum was that game that hit me hard. I loved it so much. When I got Arkham City 2 years later, I was in all my glory. They made everything better. How could they do that with this game? Well, in my limited experience of the hour and a half I've played, 3 or 4 epic moments slash sequences slash fights have happened, and I couldn't be happier. And I can't believe that I've only been able to play what I've played, but it's so satisfying. The combat feels great right off the get go. Much like Horizon, where you can traverse the environment a little bit better, that exists now in God of War. And you said it in one of our group chats, John. Another banner year for Sony. We got Horizon at the beginning. We got a beautiful Last of Us remake in the middle. Now we've got the bookend with God of War Ragnarok. And boy, what a time to be a PS5 fan it is. So that being said, John, you've played a lot more than I have. What's your experience? Take me through it all.
So I have not finished the game yet. I am about 11 to 12 hours through the game. God of War Ragnarok might be the best game I've ever played. God of War Ragnarok might be the best game I've ever played. Now,
so in the theater, if I could quickly interrupt, we saw Black Panther last week. We had the entire row. We had our family there. You talked to me about this because we just saw a Ragnarok thing on screen. The Ben Stiller commercial for that kills me. It's so funny. And you said it was maybe your favorite game of all time. And I just kind of like,
I didn't say that. I said it might be the best. I said it might be the best game of all time. Best does not mean favorite. So,
okay.
So
all right.
So I'll dive into it.
Yeah.
God of War Ragnarok might be the best game I've ever played. It is enthralling, dude. Like the story, like everything about the first game just multiplied. I can't put it down. Anytime I have free time, what I want to be doing is playing God of War Ragnarok. What was it? I think I just finished watching the Sabres game. I was exhausted. I barely got any sleep the night before, but I'm like, I just have to play some Ragnarok tonight. I played like 2 hours of the game as a zombie. I'm just sitting there staring at the screen. I'm like, I should go to bed. Like, I don't even know if I'm enjoying this as much as I should be, but I can't put it down. Like that, it is that level of like, the story is so good that I just want to keep, even on like a small scale. I'm not even talking about the big story beats where it's like, this big thing happened, so we have to get to the next big thing. I'm talking about the moment-to-moment conversations you're having with the side characters and everything like that. Like, everything is just so well written that I just do not want to stop listening and exploring and knowing more about this world and, you know, about where I'm going on this journey. And add to the fact that when I'm not learning stuff about the story, the gameplay is just so much fun. Like God of War Ragnarok is just more God of War 2018 and just like cooler animations and a couple more, you know, like moves you can do. And I haven't even unlocked all the stuff I know that I'm going to be able to do yet. So when I say it might be the best game I've ever played, it's just like it plays so well. The story is so enthralling. I can't get enough of it. It's just unabashedly a masterpiece. The reason I brought up, like, is it my favorite game of all time? I would still pick The Last of Us over this. Like, that's just more my vibe. Like, I can recognize that this is probably a better game than both Last of Us games. Like, as a game, even as a narrative, right? Like, it's probably better, like, objectively. But I like that. I like that more, right? I just like it more. But
dude, that's fine. You could say you like any game more. Like, that's
sure.
your prerogative. And who cares? At the end of the day, that's your opinion. But like, it is saying a lot to have that in the conversation.
For sure.
And I know how much you love The Last of Us, to even like be talking about it in the same breath. No pun intended, because he also the Breath of the Wild,
right.
but like that says so much.
And I can see the objectivity behind the fact that like it's better. It's better, man. Like it's a better game. Like it's a better constructed narrative. The gameplay is much more fun, diverse, and more and better built. It's a better game. Like God of War Ragnarok might be the best game I ever played. Boom, done.
Like,
I'm not even done yet. I'm halfway through the game. I'm 12 hours in, and I watch the way I like to gauge how far I am in a game, like a new game that just came out. This is so risky, by the way. I don't recommend it at all. I'll pull up one of those YouTube movie playthroughs, like a full playthrough of the game, and I'll just keep scrubbing until I find where I am in the game. Then I'll pause.
That's risky.
And I'll watch, and I'm like, all right, that's basically where I am, and I'll see how much is left in the YouTube timer. That's how I figure out how
that's
far.
How you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, like,
that's
I used like how long to beat.com and stuff like that too.
Same.
But I like the visual reference. Like, okay, this person is 9 hours and 21 minutes into their YouTube video. Perfect. There's 11 hours left. Okay, that's it. I got it.
How do we know how long this main path is?
About
main story?
Close to 30. Close to 30.
So I read 28 and I was like,
it's a long game.
I don't think that's right. But Last of Us Part 2 was around there.
So it was like 22-ish. 22 to 24.
It was closer to 30. Maybe I was just slow with it.
Yeah, not you can certainly do. My playthrough was 25, but I know that I was like intentionally slow with a lot of stuff with it. My first playthrough was like 24.5 or something like that.
Dude, when this was announced in mid 2020, I didn't know if it was a full-on sequel or if we were getting another kind of like Miles Morales size game. Either way, I was super stoked. And the way it came across was just a logo for the game and a voiceover. No visuals in terms of gameplay. And I was sold that second. And I remember it in the Prepare for Ragnarok. Like, if you think about what I like as a fan, what do I hardcore fandom in? God of War, since it was rebooted, I'll say. One of my top 5 games of all time. One of my favorite movies ever, Thor Ragnarok. So when God of War 2018 took the turn that it did in this mythos and tying into Thor and Loki and Odin and all that wonderful stuff, I was excited. But when you fast forward 2 years later and we get that logo and I realized there's going to be a game called God of War Ragnarok, I kind of freaked out a little bit. Like, that's unbelievable to me. Like, if you were to find a silly, cheesy, non-cheesy way to call this God of War Star Wars, I would have been like, are you kidding me? Like, that was it. This is, again, in only 90 minutes of gameplay has struck so many chords for me. And I can't wait to deep dive.
I can't wait to talk to you about so much. Like, the game is so good. We've got our good friend Rashawn Anderson in chat. It's Ragnarok. He's got 26 hours into the game. He says it's better than 2018 in every way he believes. Like, I don't even know who could even argue that. It's what 2018 was, but better in every way. It may have the best writing and world building in any game I've ever played. The writing, man, like everything that is said, whether it just be from like Mimir that's on your hip, whether it be from your dwarves, Brock and Sindri, like Atreus is such a better character. And again, Atreus played his part. He was a whiny little kid who got a little arrogant at the end of 2018. Like, that was who he was. He's so much more likable in this game. Like, oh my God, Sonny does like a killer job with the evolution of this character. It is so good, man. It's so good.
Speaking of Sonny, have you seen? So during the Game Awards little live stream, they had all the nominations. Did you see his picture?
Yeah. He's like a person
looks
now.
just like him.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
It's good.
I love it.
You can see that so much more in this game than you did in the last. Like, Atreus looks like, they look alike, but like in this game, like you can tell they really, really went in with the references and the facial models. Like he looks a lot like him. Can't say the same with Christopher Judge and Kratos, but Sonny and Atreus very much so.
It's so special. Christopher Judge, man, he's so dialed into this role, and I think of this is not a total comparable, but you think about a serious character at first, like a Drax, this big brute,
sure,
all of a sudden got that
stoic.
comedic timing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not that, but there's flashes of it where he's so in command that he kind of just a little bit he veers off that path from being super serious every once in a while, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Like
It's so good.
Christopher Judge can say more with a grunt than I could in an entire novel. You
And he
know?
does that a lot, right?
Oh
Like
my
so
god.
in that
Right.
90 minutes I've played, he's responded that way several times, and I've thought that. I'm like,
I know
"Are you
exactly what you
serious?"
mean. I know exactly what you mean. Like it's so good. He obviously he knows Kratos. He is Kratos. Like it's an incredible performance. Yeah, I can't put it down. We've got a snowstorm. I look outside, I can see like already 3.5 inches of accumulation outside of my window. I'm very excited to do nothing but play God of War Ragnarok and of course the new Pokemon games this weekend. I'm very excited to be snowed in for that reason.
So next week we got Thanksgiving. I am off of work, and boy, boy,
Boy,
I there it is. I am ready to sink some late nights into this game.
yes.
It is overdue for me.
I
So
expect I have it. So pending my affection with the new Pokemon game, which I do think is going to be pretty high. I expect to have it beaten by the weekend. I hope so. That's my goal. That's my goal. But I really might play a lot of Pokemon. And if you're watching live on Twitch, I'm probably going to stream some Pokemon too. It's super easy to just dock the Switch and play some Pokemon. That might be a thing.
I loved when we had streamed Arceus. Like, so that would be good. I would love to dive into that and watch that.
Yeah, for sure. So Rashawn says, as long as it sticks to landing, I think I'll be right there with you in the best game of all time. I'm pretty much already at that point already. Crazy to think, man. And you're a guy that loves From Software games, and you played Elden Ring, and you loved Elden Ring, and like that's we're gonna, we're about to get to game of the year talk. We're about to get to Game Awards predictions shortly. What a year for those two games, and like, man, to hear Rashawn say that's kind of crazy. Someone who loves From Soft games and Elden Ring so much to even consider it the best game of all time, let alone the game of the year, right? Crazy.
Dude, it hasn't been a jam-packed year, I can say, but the high quality releases have been high quality. And I can't wait to sink more time into this game. This is a game I'm going to go all the way through. I'm going to platinum this at some point, and I'm going to go back and do the same with the original God of War. It's a special time for that franchise, and again, for PlayStation fans in general. Um, Anything that we want to touch on before we move on to the Game Awards stuff?
I don't think I can get into much about God of War that I want to because it's going to be spoilery. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
I've got one last thing to say, 2 bullet points about it. Huge fan of the soundtrack. The musical score behind this is fantastic, just like it was for 2018. The other thing that I am such a fan of, it's art to me, is the singular camera.
Dude, it's so good. The fact that they're doing it again, they're just like, yeah, it was a thing for 2018. It was so incredibly difficult to do on a technical level. Oh, let's just do it again. What? Yeah, it's amazing.
It is so good. I can't believe that that's a thing. And someone pointed that out in one of the early reviews for God of War in 2018 before the game came out. And that's when I was like, oh, I got to get this day one. And they talked about that camera angle. And I can't help but think about it every time I pick up this game, whether it's God of War or Ragnarok in my little bit so far. It is impressive.
And it's like, never mind. I almost just dove into a spoiler.
Okay.
Never mind.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll stop our God of War chat there. John's going to beat this game a lot sooner than I am, but when I do, you can bet we are going to have a full-blown spoiler cast discussion on this game. We're going to talk a lot
100%.
more about God of War Ragnarok. John, I'm actually going to pass it over to you. We're going to get into the Game Awards. We got our nominees for all the categories for the 22 version of this show. It's one of my favorite days of the year as a gamer. It's a nice way to put kind of a bow on the year. We get some awesome announcements nowadays. Jeff Keighley does such a great job with it. We get some nice musical performances throughout the night. We got the nominees this week in a live stream form, and we're going to have some fun with predicting what we think these winners are going to be. I'll let John kind of take over the reins here and explain what that looks like.
Yeah, I love the Game Awards, man. Like I am so just like a unapologetic fanboy of the Game Awards. Like, they can do no wrong for me. It's just such a fun celebration of the industry. I think Jeff Keighley just is so passionate about it, and like, you know, what's to not like about it? We're just celebrating games for a day. We get to see we get to see the best stuff of the year. We get to see new announcements. So I love it. But yes, you and I, man, we got all the categories here. We're gonna go through all the nominees, you know, give them their respect and their dues. But we're also gonna do our predictions. We're gonna predict what we think the winners are. You and I are gonna be doing a Game Awards watch along live stream. So the Game Awards are what? December 4th, 8th, right?
Again.
8th. It's 8th. It's yeah. That makes
It's
sense. Yeah. Thursday, December 8th, I think at like 7 p.m. So we're gonna be doing a live stream. So if you're looking for some friends to watch the Game Awards with, come hang out with us. We're gonna be watching with it. We're pretty good about like not talking over stuff. Like we're you know, we want to watch it too. So we're not gonna ruin your experience. Come hang out with us. So yeah, today we're gonna be doing predictions for each category. The caveat is like there's stuff that Josiah and I just both don't know or care about. So like if we both agree to pass on it, we're just gonna pass on it, right? So let's just dive into it. I've got them all up here. There's so many of them, right? Like, let's start from the bottom of the list and work our way up. So best esports event. I don't even know where to, like, I'm not even gonna pull up the nominees. I don't even know what any of this stuff is.
The answer is Geeks Give Back, right?
I'm gonna go with Evo. Yeah, Evo. That's the one.
No, I have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
So yeah, best esports event, best esports coach, best esports team, esports athlete, esports game. I just don't.
What's funny, John, is every year that we see these nominees or at the award show, the winners, I'm like, I'm gonna get into it, and I don't.
Yeah, I love it. I love that it exists, man. Like, it's awesome. I'm so happy that like gaming is more than what it is to me, right? The gaming is a very different thing to people than it is to you and I, right? Like, we play this for the story, for the relaxation, whatever it may be. But gaming is a competition to people. That ain't me. Happy for you. I hope the best esport athlete wins, man. Crush it. Go off. Pop off. King or queen.
Yes, 100%.
But the first one that I think we can chat about on this list in reverse order is most anticipated game. So let's pull that up. The most anticipated game. So now the caveat here is it must be actually announced. A lot of us gamers talk about games that we know probably exist, and we think about that. If it's not real, the studio hasn't announced it. It's not on this list. So our nominees are Final Fantasy 16, Hogwarts Legacy, Resident Evil 4, Starfield, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Those are our nominee for most anticipated game. Josiah started off. What's your prediction? And first of all, you're keeping track. You're taking notes.
Yep. Again. Say this. My preference is a toss-up between Zelda and Resident Evil. I'm really excited for Resident Evil. My prediction is that Zelda runs away with it.
Got it.
Like, it's not close.
Right. Worth noting, yeah. Prediction does not mean what we want to win. Prediction is like we're betting, we're gambling, we're betting, man. Who's gonna come out on top with these answers come December 8th. I'm between, for my prediction, I'm between Zelda and Hogwarts Legacy. There are a lot of Harry Potter fans out there, man. People love Harry Potter. It's out there. I can also see Starfield being a big thing for people.
Dude, I agree, but to me, like, those are all heavy hitters. I think Zelda's just not close.
My only issue with Zelda is it's been around for a while. We've been talking about the sequel to Breath of the Wild for a very long time. So does that have any impact on people's votes? I'm gonna say probably not, and I agree. I think it's gonna be Zelda.
All right.
Zelda. Yeah,
Zelda.
Yeah, that's also my answer. Is my most anticipated is definitely Zelda. My second would be Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, but that's it. We're locked in. Same vote.
To circle back to a question posed earlier in the show, the Cyber Scream beer that I have is 10%.
10%? Nice.
Yes.
Very good.
Perfect.
I'm gonna have to take advantage of that later with these votes. So next we have a really, really cool new category, topic, whatever you want to get, category. Best adaptation. What an awesome world we live in where we have adaptations worthy enough to be on this list. So recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. So happy to see this show up this year. So we've got Arcane by League of Legends, Cyberpunk Edgerunners, The Cuphead Show, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Uncharted. What a cool list, man. What a cool category.
Dude, that speaks to how well these adaptations are going, that it's a category that we're making headway in TV shows, in movies. I have no idea what's going to win here.
Interesting.
I could say a lot of those.
Yeah, so the ones I've seen and what I know about them, all super positively received, with maybe the exception of Uncharted, but like it got the accolades it probably deserved. Like people, like, it's good, it's fun, it's awesome. Like it's not.
It's a 7 out of 10 for me. You know,
right.
Like I love Uncharted, but most people may not enjoy that if they don't understand the source material. Like it's an okay movie.
There's that balance where it's like if you like Uncharted too much and you wanted like too much of the faithful adaptation, that you might not like it. If you're a casual fan, it's like, oh yeah, this is a cool Uncharted game. And if you have never heard of it, like it's, oh, this is a cool Indiana Jones movie, right? My answer is Arcane for sure. I think Arcane is the one that like everybody talks about as, oh, this is like an incredible show. You don't have to care about video games. You don't have to be into like League of Legends. Like Arcane is stupid good. I haven't watched it. I don't watch a lot of stuff. Like there's a lot to get to, right? I was between Arcane and Cyberpunk Edgerunners because the anime community really, really loves Edgerunners. Our good friend and fellow Geekiverse member Tim Talbot can't speak highly enough about Edgerunners. But I think at the end of the day, I go Arcane because of how much the hype behind that has really driven its popularity.
I am, based on what I would say is the impact, goes for Edgerunners, because Cyberpunk 2077 became a thing again. People cared about it and wanted to play it, and sales had a very, very nice uptick, especially when this released.
They timed the next gen release right around the release of Edgerunners. What a brilliant call!
Like it reminds me to a degree of No Man's Sky, where I thought that game was so dead and buried, and Cyberpunk was the butt of all jokes here for the last 2 years. And then this comes out, and then the next gen versions come out, and I gotta say, I'm happy to see that happen, right? Like I don't want any video game to fail per se, but what a comeback, because that was a mess. Every day there was a new story with how poorly things were going. I'm going Edgerunners. I think they can't be discounted here.
Yeah, I cannot fault you for that. That's going to be an interesting one to see how it plays out. All right, next we have Best Debut Indie. This is the category to watch for me. This is the most banger list I think that's out there right now, man. This is killer. So we've got Neon White, we've got Norco, we've got Stray, Tunic, and Vampire Survivors. Like every one of these games, whether I've played it or not, I've heard nothing but great things about. Right? Like this is a killer list for indies, man. You're telling me these are all from debut studios? We're spoiled. We're spoiled.
And a few of those games would be in the conversation, or will be in the conversation, for our game of the year, depending on who you ask at the Geekiverse.
For
That's
sure.
saying a lot too.
No doubt. No doubt. My guess is Tunic. Going Tunic. I heard when that game came out, you were seeing 5 out of 5s. You were seeing 10 out of 10s. Like Tunic is a very, again, bring our buddy back, Mr. Tim Talbot. Speaks highly of it. Said it was a hell of a time. I loved it. I played a lot of it. I streamed it. What happened was I spilled my beer on my keyboard.
I was just gonna bring.
I was drinking a froth smoothie style sour, and I spilled it on my white keyboard and keyboard mat. And I never wanted to play again. That just ruined the experience for me. I was having a blast. I was loving Tunic, and I was streaming it. I was having so much fun. Yeah.
We're so confused why John was gone for 10 minutes.
That was it.
That's why.
That was it. I spilled my beer. But yeah, I think Tunic gets it. My vote for sure out of the 3 of these I've played is Neon White. Like Neon White's on my short list of game of the year. I think that game is just like stupid good, stylish. Like the music is so good. The narrative that I didn't even expect to be there was fun. I could see it going to Stray because of the hype behind that game. But I'm gonna lock in Tunic.
So I love that Stray's in the conversation here. I've played most of the game. It's not a long game. I've got to finish it. Got it on the Steam Deck, and it's fun. You know, Annapurna, they did a good job with that. I think without having played them, I feel like Neon White probably, based on what you and Tim have said, deserves a little more hype than it's gotten. It's gotten a good amount, but just that's how I feel. But I think Tunic's going to win it. I
Yeah,
think there is something to be said around, like you said, when that dropped, it was everywhere. The review scores were there. Everyone was streaming it. I think people love the art style, and there were shades of Zelda with
oh,
that as well.
there's no shades. This is a Zelda. This is a Zelda like. If there's a roguelike game, this is a Zelda like.
With a year where next year we're getting the next Zelda, the big AAA Zelda entry. I think this is the time for this game. So Tunic is going to be my answer.
For sure. I'm just getting caught up on the chat. Rashawn, Sonic 2 was good. I have heard great things about Sonic 2. I fell asleep in the first 15 minutes when I was watching it. Not to the detriment of the movie. I was exhausted. I want to watch Sonic 2 because I like the first one a lot. And I hear the second one's like even better and actually like a great movie. So I'm excited about that.
Was my sleeper. That was my sleeper pick. I thought that might make it in that category.
I think given the votes and like how these panels are made, it might be a little too mainstream and just like a little. I don't think it'll win. But I do want to finish Sonic 2 because actually watch Sonic 2.
Sure.
All right. So we're both locked in for Tunic there. That's cool. That's fine. That was best indie debut. Content creator of the year. I think we can probably abstain from this. Yep. We got Carl Jacobs, Ludwig, Nebellion, Nobrew, and Cutie Cinderella. I'm not too familiar with Nobrew or Cutie Cinderella. Carl Jacobs, cool, doing awesome stuff, working with Mr. Beast. Ludwig, like the cream of the crop Twitch streamer right now. Nibellion, that's the reason I wanted to bring this topic up because Nibellion, the Nibel stuff. Are you familiar with what's going on with Nibel at all?
No.
So Nibel is he's like a Wario64 on Twitter. Not only with like the prices and like the discounts and stuff like that, but he's also an insider when it comes to like information. Like a lot of leaks and information that just like comes out of nowhere comes from Nibel on Twitter. Guy's been incredible, like profound voice in the industry. Nobody knows who he is. It's an alias. He started a Patreon to like fund this as an actual career. Maybe I don't know the timeline, but he started to try to like monetize this, and it didn't do well. And he kind of came out 2 weeks ago maybe and said that like I'm retiring from this. Like I can't figure out a way to monetize this. Like I overestimated the monetary cost that people put into my work here. I'm gonna be retiring from Twitter. So to see him nominated for the what do they call it, content creator of the year is pretty crazy because he like Nibel has been a really really positive and helpful voice for the internet. So that's gonna be the story to watch. Like if Nibel wins, what happens? Because nobody even knows who he is. That's the one. That's why exciting. I abstained from the vote just because I don't know enough about too much of these, but interesting story to watch because like what if he's working with Jeff Keighley and he wins this and like he makes a debut on stage? I don't know. Could be crazy. Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
So next we have best multiplayer. We've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverses, Overwatch 2, Splatoon 3, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder Revenge. I love seeing that on there.
How about that? That's crazy to me. I love it. That would be my pick, to be honest. I had a lot of fun playing that game. It's the last time I touched my Xbox.
Yeah.
That being said, I feel like Call of Duty.
I am torn, dude. Like Call of Duty is getting good, it's positive reception. It's not negative, but like that's not enough for Call of Duty these days, right? Like I don't think that's enough to like really move the needle on like why a Call of Duty is special or worth it this year, right? It's annualized.
Yeah.
Multiverse.
It's always in the conversation.
Right. So like Multiverse has had its moment, man. Like that was a really cool thing. A lot of people playing it. Overwatch 2, like that also had its moment. It's super polished. I don't know if it did enough for anybody to be honest, but like out there. Splatoon 3 is interesting. Like I don't hear anything negative about Splatoon 3 necessarily. I don't think the Turtles have enough impact and enough reach to win this. Awesome that we're talking about like a couch co-op game that, obviously online couch co-op, but like single screen co-op multiplayer stuff. I'm not going to go Call of Duty, but what do I go? That's where I'm at. I want to
Daisy and I played the heck out of that game, like, I gotta say, and that you're right, man. Couch co-op to be in this category, that doesn't happen. It's typically head-to-head or what competitive multiplayer.
Yeah.
What a nice thing.
Best multi. This one, I literally have no clue. I
There's
could
no front runner here at all in my
I
head.
could see any of these 5 winning. I'm gonna go multiverses. I think that was a unique, different game that came out. It controlled like it was a moment, and it was a big moment. Like that was a big thing for a while. I'm gonna go multiverses. I think it has a shot. I think
I
it has
like
a
it.
shot.
We
So
shall see.
after best multiplayer, we go best sports / racing. Racing. Let's see the list. I'd vote to abstain.
Yeah, let's pass.
Yeah, I'm not in on that. So after that, we go
There's no
best.
Chell.
There's no Chell.
No Chell.
Probably shouldn't be there. Best sim / strategy game.
Maybe.
Also not our cup of tea.
Mm.
Pass on that. Best family game, aka best Nintendo game, usually.
Oh, yes. Yes. Give me that.
Yeah, for sure. So you've got Kirby in the Forgotten Land, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Nintendo Switch Sports, and Splatoon 3. A great category. Great category.
So again, watch this live stream with Daisy. She knew every game and was super excited about it. Makes sense, right? Family games. Because she's played a bunch of them. I think, obviously, if it was me, I'd say Star Wars. But I think the winner is Kirby.
I thought you were gonna go Star Wars. I thought we'd have some separation here, but Kirby, #1 with a bullet. I think it's the front runner. I go Kirby as well. I want to play that game. I
Have you
really
played it at
do.
all?
I really want to.
So
I'm in the mood. I'm in like the game of the year crunch time mentality where I want to play a lot of these games to start talking about them for sure.
you remember when this came out early in the year and we kind of were like, should we get this game? Like, not a game I think we'd traditionally get, but we talked about it. Anyway, there's a demo for it on the Switch store. I was going to say Marketplace and
eShop.
eShop. It is 3 levels worth. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty basic, but like it scratches an itch right now for me. And
I hear
it's a good game.
I hear the second half like turns it up, man. I hear the second half has like a crazy cool soundtrack, and the game gets more unique and complex. Like, I hear good things about Kirby, and again, the issue is like, what's the filter these voters are using? Are they going with the best game in this category, or are they going with the best family game? Right? Is Kirby the best family game? I don't know. I can see a good argument for Lego Star Wars. I can see a good argument for Switch Sports. I don't know. Do both? I think both of those might have a little bit more of a family offering than Kirby does. But I think I'm still confident that Kirby has enough power here.
It's so accessible and it's a Nintendo game that hit its mark. So to me, it checks a bunch of boxes. So for me, I think we both gravitated right towards Kirby.
For sure. Catching up on chat, Tank Newton says he doesn't make content though, just saying, I assume you're talking about Nibel. I mean, content can be anything. Content like providing news is content. A tweet is content. So I disagree with that. I see what you're saying though. And then Rashawn says multiverses will probably take it for multiplayer. So I got a supporter with me there. We both lock in Kirby for best family game though. Best Nintendo game other than Star Wars. I think there was a year where all 5 were Nintendo or something. It's usually 4 out of 5.
Probably.
Usually 4 out of 5.
Speaking of Nintendo, I can't imagine how rough Lego Star Wars runs on the Switch.
You can ask JT because he bought it.
He said something about it when it came out. So we've been playing Lego Incredibles, which is a game that came out 4 years ago or 5 now on the Switch, and
Ooh.
that is bad.
Dude, I'm so excited.
Star Wars is huge.
I'm so excited for Pokemon tomorrow, but all the reviews say like this might be the best Pokemon game yet. It runs like dog shit. Like it is bad. Like it dropped. Don't even try to dock it. Don't even try to blow it up on your big screen. Like no. Don't think about it. It's bad.
Dude,
we're talking.
We need the Switch 2.0 at this point.
We need sure do. Give me the new Nintendo Switch. Best fighting game is next. I think we skipped that one. Best role playing game. Best role playing game.
We could do this one.
Yeah, we can figure this one out. So we can predict it. We've got Elden Ring, We've got Live Alive. We've got Pokemon Legends Arceus, Represent, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Chronicle 3. Oh, Joe, take it away. Where you at?
Oh man. So if I'm predicting and thinking about the voters here, I think Pokemon.
You think so? Oh,
My natural inkling is Elden Ring. It's game of the year in a lot of cases, unless you're talking God of War. I think Pokemon.
But is Elden Ring the best RPG? So
I don't know.
I think a lot of people are going to think about Elden Ring as the best game of the year, best narrative. No, not best narrative. Whatever else the big categories are. I think people will think about giving this to a more traditional RPG. My opinion. That's where I'm at. That's why I think. I don't think Pokemon stands a chance. I just don't. I don't think so. People liked Arceus. They didn't love it like I did. I think Xenoblade runs away with it.
See, that's my second pick. So
I'll
stick with Pokemon, but I feel like it's not totally fair, but like people, like the voters, let's say,
yeah,
they will look at this and say like, "Hey, Elden Ring, we're gonna vote for that for Game of the Year." So we're not gonna vote for it for this.
It's gonna get its accolades eventually. It's gonna get plenty of accolades. So let's give this to the more.
Space that out. Why don't do that? Like if it's the best game in almost every sense, it should be the best RPG.
Right, I agree. But I think they look at the categories and they think about like, all right, what's the best RPG? And I think Xenoblade wins because of that. Rashawn agrees with that based on pure RPG standards. Yeah, for sure. I think Live Alive, obviously, it's a Square RPG. Triangle Strategy fits that bill as well, but I think Xenoblade is the better game of those three from what I understand critically. So I go Xenoblade.
Yeah,
you go.
I can see that happening.
You go Arceus. That's my vote for sure. But all right. After RPG, we have best action adventure. What does action adventure even mean? What does Jeff Keighley say? He says,
I don't know, John, but I know it's up our alley.
Yeah, right. Games we care about, right? So for the best action/adventure game combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Yep, that's us. That is us.
Literally games made for us.
Right. So the nominees there are Plague Tale Requiem, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Tunic. Tunic is on that list. You think Horizon?
I think Horizon wins because I think the same philosophy. Like God of War, if it's the best game of the year, it should, in that category, win the best action adventure. But I think they're going to give some love to Horizon. And it's warranted.
If they give love to Horizon, I don't think it's here. I think God of War takes this. I think the best combat with traversal and puzzle solving goes to God of War Ragnarok.
Hey, you would know. You played way more than I have.
Right. I think that there's a good argument for Horizon there. I think that obviously like the traversal really stands out there and the uniqueness of the combat for sure. Puzzle solving, whatever. How serious are they taking these, these descriptions of the,
right.
how much are we overthinking this? Who knows? People love Plague Tale. People love Plague Tale, but that seems more of like a narrative puzzle game. So I don't know if I don't know if this screams action adventure. Stray.
That Plague Tale is in the conversation is saying a ton. That has become a franchise, man. Like that is awesome, but it's not on the level of some of the other games we're talking about. Neither is Stray, but
yeah, I think Stray's getting Stray might be a little overrated at this point, but I don't.
It's getting a little bit more love than I think it should.
Yeah,
I don't mind it because it's fun.
It's a good game. I love cat. Like Stray should be my game. Like that. Like it's got.
I'm surprised.
Right.
I'm surprised that this wasn't something you were all over.
Like in anticipation,
John,
it was.
We own it. We own it on Steam Deck.
I have it on PlayStation 2. I've played it on the PS5. Right. I have it. I own it twice. Yeah, I've played it on both platforms actually.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks, Kyle. Yeah, it's just like I'm all about cats. I love my little cyberpunk vibes. I love whatever. I love little games like indie games like that. It just didn't really hit like that for me. Like it's good. It's fun. Just didn't hit like that. But to recap, I take God of War. Josiah takes Horizon. Very respectable.
How funny is that? Like those are totally opposite for us.
I don't know about that anymore.
Not anymore.
At some point they were, but I don't know about that anymore. So we just did best action adventure game. So let's do something crazy different and just do best action game, I guess. Those are different. Best action game. So for the best game in the action genre, focus primarily on combat. Okay, I get it. I read these. I understand. We've got Bayonetta 3, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Neon White, Sifu, and TMNT, The Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge. That's a great game. That's a great category. Makes so much more sense than action adventure now that I think about it.
Yeah, it does.
This makes sense. I'll start. I'm going Sifu. No doubt. You're talking about primarily focuses on combat. Oh my god, Sifu was also getting 10 out of 10s. Like, that's what that game's all about. Sifu's the winner here.
That's what I've got. Sifu. It is. That's gonna be the one.
I want to give
90% true.
I want to give Neon White the accolades and the what it deserves here, but like Sifu had that. It had that weight, man. Sifu was a movement when that game came out.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, sure. We're both there. Sifu. My vote would be Neon White for sure. But alas, we move on. Best VR AR. Do we have that? Do we have the bandwidth there? I don't think so. We skip that. Great category. I love that they do this every year. Innovation and accessibility. This is a huge one. I feel like Sony really leads the pack on this a lot. You've got As Dusk Falls, God of War Ragnarok, Return to Monkey Island, The Last of Us Part 1, and The Quarry. I think we have enough experience here to talk about this, right? We don't. So I know we don't fit the mold of anybody who's in need of any accessibility, needs in these games. But when I boot up God of War Ragnarok or The Last of Us Part 1 or The Quarry, and I see those exhaustive lists of play this game the way you want, like change the settings the way that makes the most sense for you. Put the text here, have it do this. Like, I love that this is a thing in games nowadays. And I would go God of War Ragnarok here because I think it's your big, arguably the biggest game of the year. In the first screen they show you before you see Kratos is accessibility stuff, and it's a huge list.
I think that so you get into a lot of these games and they do give you options to start, but this is the first one, at least that I've played, that I remember where it was like, here's an exhaustive list. Go through it and take your time. It is God of War for me as well, but Last of Us is a close second.
It is. The reason I don't think The Last of Us Part 1 gets it is because it just did what The Last of Us Part 2 did. So The Last of Us Part 2 was I think where Sony really started to focus on this stuff in 2020. And all they did was just give that stuff to Part 2. So I think it already, I think The Last of Us already got its recognition for that movement. I think God of War is the forefront. It adds more, and it is their premier game this year, which says a lot.
And I think on top of that, Sony and Sony Santa Monica were kind of campaigning that, hey, this is the most accessibility features we've ever had in a game. So that's fresh.
Right.
That matters.
I haven't touched As Dusk Falls or Return to Monkey Island, but good chance they do something that we have no idea, but whatever.
Both of those games are games I would love to dive into. About a month ago, As Dusk Falls, I was like, dude, that's up my alley. That's a narrative game where it's just based on choice and story. Oh my gosh. And then, of course, let Game Pass go. So at some point, I do plan to dive back in, but As Dusk Falls is something that is spoken to me.
Josiah, as a fellow lapsed Game Pass fan, 'tis the season. We're gonna get 20 years of Game Pass for $11 soon. Like, it's coming. It's coming.
It'll be great.
Maybe
$5.50 a piece.
I can't remember the last time I fired up the Series X. I don't remember the last time I pressed that button. I would guarantee all of my Xbox controllers are so dead. That's sad.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Sad.
We just did innovation and accessibility. So next is best community support. Very similar to another category. So recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media, activity, and game updates / patches. So we've got Apex Legends. We've got Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14. It lives, it breathes, it still dominates. We've got Fortnite. We've got No Man's Sky.
I have no idea.
That's a list.
They're very even.
It's a good list. I think, to me, It's between Destiny 2 and Fortnite this year. So Destiny 2 had a good release with the Witch's Queen. They revamped some of the stuff when it comes to like the progression and like what DLC you need to continue playing to make Destiny less confusing. I think they had one of their most successful DLC launches in a while. Rashawn says either Fortnite or Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy won last year, I think. Final Fantasy 14. I don't know what it did differently to like make headlines this year. I could be ignorant and it could have been clearly the winner this year. I'm a little out of the loop here. Fortnite's big claim to fame this year is no build. They added a no build this year, and that was a huge thing to bring people back to the game. So I think that's my vote. That might be my bias, that might be my hope, but I think Fortnite might take this because of how different the no build stuff was earlier in the year.
I think that's great. You could make an argument for any of these. For me, I am going to tip the scale a little bit towards Destiny. And if for no other reason, every time something drops or I hear about the game, I can't believe it still exists.
And it's still so positive. Like they're not, ever since the separation from Activision, where they're self-publishing, they are just seemingly crushing it. And every time it's happened, I'm like, I would say every time it's happened, I have re-downloaded Destiny. Have I committed to actually playing Destiny? No, but I've thought about it, and I've cleared up the hard drive space to actually download it. So yeah, not a bad call. Yeah, take in the chat. You're right. It's a tough category.
I can't. There's a nice thread there between Destiny and No Man's Sky, where those games just like were kind of to a degree dead in the water.
I don't think
came back.
I don't think
Destiny
was
not the level of No Man's Sky.
It was never panned like No Man's Sky was, but I hear you.
No Man's Sky had crazy expectations and then immediately was flat out of the gate. Destiny kind of had some issues and it went downhill, and then the patch, if you will, or the fix seemed to be Destiny 2. But you're right. Once they separated, it was all uphill from there.
For sure.
And
they seem to be listening. The balance seems to be there. All the DLC that comes out seems to be pretty killer for that audience. So
think about that. Destiny 2, when did that come out? 2016?
17, I want to. Could have been 16. Could have been 16. I would say 17, but one of the two.
Pretty impressive that is still doing what it's doing to
me. Yeah, I mean, like
all this year.
When they announced Destiny, they talked about a 10-year plan. And we all laughed about that. We're like, okay, yeah, 10-year plan. Okay, it included a sequel, but they've surpassed 10 years at this point, at least with those two SKUs. Like, that is pretty impressive, or at least they're close. They probably didn't pass it. When did Destiny 1 come out?
Was 2014, I believe.
Okay, so yeah, they didn't pass it, but damn close. To be able to support, like, a game, in a sense, for 8 years, going on 9 years, like, that's super impressive.
I didn't think that this franchise would be doing what it's doing. Yeah. So that's it for me. But I think you've got a great point with Fortnite too.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I think it's tough. I don't know enough about all I know about Apex Legends is that it just continues to be the best technical battle royale out there. Like, they are the no frills. Like, this is the best battle royale if you just want like competitive. Who shoots first? Like, it is the game for battle royales when it comes to like competition. I don't know much about like how. I know the competitive scene, the pro scene's like pretty solid, but I don't know much about anything else at this point. So we'll see. We will
just
see.
Give me Titanfall 3.
I know,
please.
But they've probably made more money this week than they ever made on Titanfall. Period.
Yeah.
Period.
I know.
So we just did community support. Best mobile game. Before I open the tab, it's Marvel Snap. Why are we doing this? It's Marvel Snap.
Do we even care?
We care. We should talk about it because there is two we should give some notes to. There's Apex Legends Mobile, which I just talked about. We've got Tank in the chat saying after Warzone 2, Apex is still the best feeling BR out there. So Apex, obviously. Diablo Immortal, that is a game people play. Here's the competitor, I think, is Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact, people play that game, dude. People love their Genshin. And the last one, I'm sorry, Marvel Snap is fourth. And then the last one is Tower of Fantasy. I've never heard of Tower of Fantasy. Not familiar whatsoever.
That sounds like a game that Tim has played.
Oh my god, yes. Tim has sunk like $1,200 in the Tower of Fantasy for sure.
It's a PlayStation 1 remake somehow. Yeah.
It's pay to win tower defense game. It's tough, but like if Marvel Snap doesn't win, I'm gonna be so upset. So Marvel Snap
Dude, Genshin is so popular too, though. Like,
it is.
That's the other one for me. Like, I'm gonna vote Marvel Snap, but
I appreciate
damn.
that. I really appreciate that. That makes me feel good. I'm scared. I'm scared because I think Genshin might win. But like out of principle, like I'm setting our competition aside. It needs to be Marvel Snap because that game is so good. So I'm voting Marvel Snap.
Yeah, never mind your Marvel hat or the fact that you've played 12 times
I
the amount of Marvel Snap that I've played Ragnarok. Like,
I think we should move on.
okay.
It's so good,
So,
dude. I can't wait to talk game of the year.
yeah.
Best indie. Best indie. What another banger list. This is the most competitive list I've seen so far. Maybe since Ongoing Game or whatever the last one was with the support. Cult of the Lamb. Neon White. Sifu. Stray. And Tunic. Are you kidding me, dude? What a list. What a list. I don't know.
I can see all those winning. I'm going with Tunic.
You're going Tunic.
Yep.
Wow. I
That's my prediction.
Yeah, I get you.
Again, right? Like,
Best indie game of the year.
trying to get in the minds of the voters here.
I am between Sifu, Tunic, and Cult of the Lamb. Cult of the Lamb had a huge following, like very positive reception.
I can see Sifu also being. I mean, again, all of these, but like, Sifu would be my runner-up.
I'm going Sifu. Yeah,
Of course you are.
I'm going Sifu.
What have I done? Sifu. Got it. I don't like seafood. Okay.
Seafood at the seashore. Okay, so you take Tunic. I take Sifu. I think those probably are 1 and 2. I think Cult of the Lamb is a close second. Or
dude,
third.
I cannot wait extra for the Game Awards now, just to be.
This
like,
is gonna be
oh
so
my
much
gosh,
fun. Yeah, you gotta send me that note. I'd like to.
I'm throwing it right in the Busy Six shared note,
Heck
so we'll have it.
Cool. All right, so that's done. We did mobile. We did best indie, best ongoing, which to me is the same category as best community support in my head, I guess. We've got Apex Legends, we've got Destiny 2, we've got Final Fantasy 14, we got Fortnite, and the only one that's different is Genshin Impact. That's the same category.
Older than a year? Okay, yeah, let's skip it.
No, let's vote for it. If we can speak to the last one, we can speak to this one. I want my points. I want points, man. Best ongoing game. Genshin, Fortnite, Final Fantasy 14, Destiny 2, Apex Legends. In what ways is this different than community support? I mean, I guess it's just like, hey, it's more about content. It's more about what keeps this game breathing than listening to the community and adapting, right? Very similar, but
I've got it written down.
What's yours?
Fortnite.
That's a good answer.
A lot of good stuff this year.
Pretty good answer. I think they are going to give Genshin what it deserves. I think Genshin. I think Genshin gets it. I think it's made a lot of waves in this free to play ongoing game community, and I think Genshin might take it away.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick. We'll see. Tank agrees with me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's tough to argue against Fortnite. Fortnite has not dipped. Fortnite has been a constant juggernaut in the it is the ongoing game, right? Like it is the ongoing game. There's no disputing that there. But I think the fact that it's been at the top for so long and just hosting at that level leaves room for something like a Genshin Impact to come in and take the vote.
Dude, I remember reading about the concept of Fortnite in Game Informer, a hard copy of that magazine, and like what it was going to look like. And it sounded awesome, but then it just blew it out of the water a few years later. Holy crap.
I mean, it's a different game. Like Fortnite launched in early access and it was a tower defense zombie killing game. And then they're like, oh, hey, like we really like PUBG. Let's make a PUBG clone inside of our engine. And it just was never the same.
It's amazing. And we could talk about it for hours on end, but
it was
what a juggernaut.
It was right place, right time, plus accessibility. It was on everything, and it was free. So PUBG was only PC at the time, and it was a paid game. Fortnite came out. It was on Xbox and PlayStation, and it was free. That's all it took. It was the first battle royale to really hit those systems, and that's all all that matters.
That's it.
They took it and ran with it. So after best ongoing, we have games for impact. I love this category too, for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. My problem here is I don't know enough about any of these games. So we have A Memoir Blue, As Dusk Falls, Citizen Sleeper, Endling, Extinction is Forever, Hindsight, I Was Expecting, a Teenage Exo-Colonist. I just don't know enough about these games.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I don't think we should count that.
I don't think so either. I love this. No. I love this category. I'm usually all in. Like I usually have played 2 or 3 of these because I love the narratives. I love the feeling stuff. I love this kind of shit. Like this is where I'm usually at, but I haven't played enough this year. So I think to skip this makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Unfortunately, because I think
no 12 hours. Just kidding.
12 minutes.
I'm just bringing it up because 12 minutes. It felt like 12 hours.
It was also last year.
No, I know. What I've talked about this on the show.
Pain is pain.
What a miss.
Yeah, what a letdown. So after,
I'm so excited for that. Okay.
Oh, we're in the big dogs now. We're getting into the big dogs. No sarcasm. Best performance. Best performance. We've got Ashley Birch from Horizon Forbidden West. We've got Charlotte McBurney from A Plague Tale Requiem. Christopher Judge from God of War Ragnarok. Man Gage from Immortality. We've got Sonny Soljic from God of War Ragnarok. Love to see Sonny and Chris both in there. That's so cool. This is a tough category.
I love me some Horizon. I think a few years ago, this is Christopher Judge. This year, it's Sonny.
It's between Sonny and Man Gage. Are you familiar with Immortality?
Not really.
Immortality, I've heard a lot of great things about. It is, I forget who did it. It's not their first game. It's not even the first game with this style. They did Her Story. You know that one?
Yeah, okay. Yep.
They did Her Story as well. So it is a video game, huh? But you're literally watching videos and you're trying to connect this story, and you can literally click on items in the video and it will show you more videos that reference that item. And you're basically trying to tell this story like almost like a detective. You're trying to like just piece things together based on video evidence. And it's supposed to be one of the best narratives of the year. And apparently, Man Gage knocked it out of the park with a performance. So I could see them going somewhere like that. I think A Plague Tale has a shot too. I think Charlotte McBurney, like, people love that game. It's narrative focused. Like I think that's really, really possible.
She's been outstanding in what I've played of the first game. So I can see this being the one where it's like, hey, this is becoming a thing now.
Right.
And let's recognize her. So obviously anyone on this list would be worthy. But yeah, I feel like Sonny is it. It's God of War's year again, with Elden Ring. And Sonny was a boy in the first one. But we've got a different version of that character now in Ragnarok, and I just feel like that's where the voters are going. So prediction, Sonny.
I am telling you that I would have went Sonny if you didn't. I would have gone Sonny, but I want to start to differentiate in that vein. I think I'm going to go Man Gage. I think that game has enough buzz. I think that performance was. I heard more about her performance in that game than I heard about anybody else's performance in any game this year. Right. So does that game have the notoriety? Is that game hyped up like these other games are? Does it have the budget of God of War Ragnarok? Of course not. But I think they give it to her based on the performance, which is what the category is all about. So we'll see. I don't think Sonny's a bad pick at all. I think it's very possible, but we will see.
Yes, sir.
Best audio design, a category I love. Category I love. You've got Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. They love their gun sounds. They talk about that every year. You've got Elden Ring. You've got God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7, and Horizon Forbidden West. I'm going to start. I'm going Horizon. I think Horizon takes it here. I think it's tough because God of War has the soundtrack down. I think God of War has that orchestral soundtrack that moves with the game. The music is so hype. I think Horizon on a technical level is so impressive with its sound design. I think you got those robots making robot noises. I think the bow and the pulling, like the sound effects in Horizon.
You're selling me, man.
I think that
game, it's so good. It's so good.
And you think about Horizon, you think about using the what's the thing? What's the thing called? Oh,
Yeah.
blanking on it. I'm blanking on. I know what it's called.
Bluetooth.
Right, but you get the controller makes the noise, right? Like that's part of the sound design, right? The focus. It's called the focus. That's it. So you press the focus button, your DualSense goes like it's cool. So I think Horizon has a good shot at this here.
First of all, I think you might be right. Second of all, I realized when you said that I sounded like Yoda a little bit when I went, oh! And then third, I'm going to say, I'm going to go with God of War just to differentiate.
It's not a bad pick.
I think it's very close with Horizon. I could see either winning, but if Ragnarok is any bit, and I think it is, like the 2018 God of War, then we're in for a show. So that's where I'm going, Ragnarok.
Yeah. Rashawn agrees with me. The enemy effects alone for Horizon, it's a killer sounding game.
So good.
God of War's there too, man. Like the sound of ripping somebody apart, gruesome but crazy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's see. Man, we're getting up there. Best art direction. I love this category too. I love the Game Awards. I said that. Best art direction.
The Game Awards are at this point in time almost how I look at E3. Like it's my favorite night of the year now. E3 was it.
It has surpassed. Yes,
predominantly.
It has become
this
E3.
Is it now
for different reasons. Like I'm not expecting the E3 level of announcements, but I'll expect a couple plus celebration. Yes. So we're at best art direction for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. Back of the book, we know what that means. Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Scorn, Stray. Dude, the fact that you shook your head and just said disgusting, I don't know. I think Scorn is the answer. I don't know if that's my vote and if that will be the winner. But Scorn has an art direction. It is very clear.
Things is not like the other. Yeah,
art might direction.
Be. I'm just thinking about like the disgusting nature of it.
Yeah, it's gross. But that art direction is very specific and very well executed and very gross.
Does it mean it's the best? You know?
But best at what it was going for. You know, like
I don't know.
It achieved its art direction the best. I don't know if that's my.
I don't like that. I can see if there's a category that Stray is competitive in, it's this.
Yeah,
because of what it looks like.
That cyberpunk element. Yep, that space theme.
I almost feel like that might be as much of an outlier as the others. Or I'm sorry, is Scorn. So I just think Horizon's too pretty though. So I am gonna go with Horizon for
Horizon for outdoor. Yeah, it's tough to argue with. I mean, Horizon's beautiful.
How could you with any of these?
I know. I know.
Scorn's so gross.
Scorn is so gross. It's so fleshy.
I hate it.
It's so fleshy. I don't like that.
Come on, Xbox. This is why we cancel Game Pass.
I don't like it. I think I might be with Rashawn, our boy. I think I might be with Elden Ring. I think like the way people talk about.
That was my first instinct.
The way that people talk about Elden Ring going area by area and how grandiose and profound everything is. Yeah, I'm locking in Elden Ring. I think you have a very strong pick with Stray. But I'm gonna go Elden Ring. You did switch. Horizon. You did switch to Horizon. Okay, sorry.
But I could see, and I would.
Tough category.
I would champion Stray.
Tough category.
Horizon's
your pick. Elden Ring is mine. There's a chance we both get no points there.
Yeah, I think so. That's the first category where I'm like, I don't know if either of us win.
Right.
But we could. Yeah.
All right. So that was best art direction. Next we have best narrative. Best narrative. Oh,
John, these games were made for us.
We've got A Plague Tale Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Immortality.
Okay.
Go for
Having not played the game,
it.
I think it's a Plague Tale.
That's a great place to give a Plague Tale its dues.
That's the place where if I'm thinking, hey, this has been nominated for several things, it's not quite on the level of our other Game of the Year candidates, but what does it do best? It's story.
Yeah.
At least I can speak to the first game. It is a great story. That's it. It's Requiem.
I'm so torn between Plague Tale, Immortality. That's what it does best. It is a cool story. But God of War Ragnarok is real good. God of War Ragnarok is really, really good.
See, this begs the question, like, what's the best? What will the voters vote for?
For sure.
Or what is my favorite? We know my favorite's probably going to be Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But if I had to guess, Requiem, man, like that is doing so well right now. And
For sure.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a new franchise or a newer franchise kind of ascend to that level on any category, whether it's competitive, whether it's narrative driven, and Requiem being what it is from a narrative standpoint. I love those games. Like,
for
give
sure.
me more of that.
I agree. I think a Plague Tale wins it. I think I honestly I would have been between a Plague Tale and Immortality. I think you think about narrative. God of War. You rewind 25 minutes into this episode. You'll find me gushing about God of War's narrative and how I cannot put the controller down. I just want to know more about the story. They keep giving me these awesome breadcrumbs. It's amazing. But I think you think God of War, and that's not the first thing you think about. You think of the mix of narrative and gameplay, right? A Plague Tale.
See, that's the thing. It could win in so many categories. So
right.
I think, yeah.
A Plague Tale and Immortality, those are narrative games. And they're both, from what I understand, pretty damn good. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to Plague Tale there.
All right. I like it.
We've got two left.
Wish I didn't tell you on that.
No, I was there already.
Okay.
There's two left.
The two big ones.
The second last one, Best Game Direction. What does that mean, Jeff Keighley? Jeff says, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction. We've got Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Immortality, and Stray.
Stray again, man. Shit. What? Can
People
you read
love
the
Stray.
definition for this one more time? This category.
Awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
So innovation. I'll tell you my pick and I'll go from there.
Okay.
I think it's Elden Ring. Is that the most innovative in this category? I think so. Innovative sounds unique to me. What changes things or pushes things further? Maybe it is Elden Ring. Maybe it pushes the Soulsborne kind of genre further. Because I feel like Elden Ring is maybe one of the most, if we're thinking about that category, it's the most definitive Game of the Year candidate. Like it's that or God of War.
It's it. It's the only two options.
And I don't know that Dark Souls and Bloodborne were that. I don't think they were. They weren't there yet. So does this push it further and innovate? I think so. So that's my vote. But to Stray's the most unique in this category to me. Even though I don't think it's necessarily a Game of the Year candidate, and I think it maybe is getting a little more love than it should. Elden Ring is where I'm going.
This is so tough, dude. It's so tough. Because in my brain, and this is probably not justified. Rashawn seems to agree in the chat. Whatever wins this doesn't win Game of the Year. It's just you just flip them. You give one this and you give the better game of the year. That's just where my brain goes. But it's probably not true because there's so many voters and this can shake out so many different ways. So I think about the category. Game direction. I'm tempted to think a lot about Horizon Forbidden West in this category. I think about game direction. I think about that open world. I think about like the the open world mixed with the different traversal methods that they introduced in the game and the different environments, that stands out to me. I don't know if it will stand out to enough people. Is this just between Elden Ring and God of War, like Game of the Year is? I don't know. Really, really torn. Really torn.
I can see a scenario in which one game wins both.
I could too. For all we know, it has happened last year or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember this stuff. Game direction.
See, to me, I don't know why I'm trying to sell you on this. If we're again, innovation is the word for me.
Yeah.
God of War is phenomenal. How much does it change or pivot from that first game? I don't know that Elden Ring. I haven't played Elden Ring. I'm not good at these games, but from everything I've heard and everyone I've talked to, this just moves the needle for that genre that much further. Where, I mean, you got George R.R. Martin involved in this project. My gosh, talk about a AAA project. And a game like Elden Ring that is so, notoriously difficult, but seems to hit on just about every facet. I feel like it's Elden Ring.
Rashawn says Horizon needs to stop releasing around the same time as other generation-defining games. It sure does. It sure does. Breath of the Wild and Elden Ring. Oh, I'm so torn. Like Elden Ring. I agree. I think about what game direction means. I think about how big that game is. I think how like it is the open world Dark Souls game. There's narrative there. It's George R.R. Martin. I think it's like I think that's the winner. I think
that's it. I'm confident in that.
Yeah, I'm with you. Josiah, are you ready to predict what will win Game of the Year at the Game Awards?
Dude, talk about a battle for the ages.
Yeah.
It's down to 2. John, read the categories, but it's down to 2.
It's a good list. I'm glad some of these folks made it. We've got A Plague Tale: Requiem, Elden Ring, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
An amazing list.
It's a good list. There's some stuff I don't know. Stray's on Game of the Year. Stray's here over like a lot. I don't know. Like I would have expected something like a Sifu to be here over Stray. Like what was I just thinking of? A Kirby maybe? I don't know. Like games that really had an impact. I just Stray doesn't seem like it's that game for me.
I would say having played roughly 75 to 80% of Stray, that surprises me.
Right.
Because that is a game that will have a cult following in my head, not a Game of the Year following.
For sure. like, oh my God, Neon White? Neon White is so much better than Stray. It's not even close. Call to the Lamb, like there's go on.
Like, Stray doesn't handle well. You could knock it,
Stray
as much as I've enjoyed it.
Stray is an interesting concept, and it's fun to explore that concept. That's really where it ends. That's really where it ends. The gameplay is not great. It's
a 4 to 5 hour game.
There's no story. It's a fun concept.
Generic.
That's it.
Yep.
So I'm just interested that Stray's here.
Do we agree that there's 2 primary candidates?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
So we know our pick.
We know. I think our pick doesn't even.
Struggle is
it doesn't even count because like we haven't played we have not played Elden Ring, and it's not a game for us. There's a world. I always say this all the time. There's a world where I see myself playing Elden Ring and getting involved and like getting obsessed
100%.
with it for sure. Like I see it.
Dude, there is an alternate universe where you and I talk about that game like we talk about God of War.
Right. For sure. But
it's not this one.
Not yet.
So,
at least not yet. But
I think I'm leaning the needle just a little bit one way.
Okay.
Towards what I think the voters will pick.
Right.
And I want to hear your response first.
I don't really think it's that big of a competition. I think Elden Ring wins it. I think Elden Ring wins it.
And it saddens me.
I think that God of War doesn't suffer. That's a harsh word, but I think it's a truth that it is just a continuation of God of War 2018, and
I
that's
right.
amazing.
That's the knock.
Guess what?
The knock.
Avengers Endgame was just a continuation of Avengers Infinity War, right? But come on, Endgame is
Great point.
amazing, right? Like Endgame is like so. But Elden Ring's got it. It's got the sauce. Elden Ring is what the people want, man. It is.
Here's
It's
my question: What if this were Elden Ring versus a game that released this year but was God of War 2018? So there's no sequel. So you've got one versus one. You don't have a
I
game that's a
still
continuation.
I still go Elden Ring. I still think it's Elden Ring. I still think the God of War game, that's a new game, is a third person action adventure game from Sony that we've seen in a formula that we've seen. Elden Ring is not a formula that we've really seen.
See, I could debate that it's not a formula we've seen with the original God of War. I think
No,
Elden Ring might still win.
with the original God of War, it's not, but like with Sony third person action adventure games, it is.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a Last of Us, an Uncharted, a Horizon, like less of an
I think
open
with
world.
the PR love behind Sony and PlayStation first party studios, like God of War maybe gets there. But um it wouldn't be surprised if Ragnarok wins, but I think you and I, if I could speak for you, feel like it's 60-40 Elden Ring. Is
Yeah,
that fair? Okay.
I might be closer to 70-30, but 60-40 feels good too. I
Yeah.
think it's real close. And again, could be wrong. I could be reading the room wrong. We could be here on December 8th. We could be here on December 8th and easily God of War could win. Easily, right? Like the game is
It could be one
incredible.
vote. Right.
Yeah, it certainly could be. It certainly could be. But I don't think we're wrong in the fact that those are the only two options. I don't think that's even a contest. Like those games are.
Watch it be Stray.
Oh my god, I would I would love it. I invite the chaos. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible list there. What about most anticipated? They have that, right?
What was
The
it?
category?
We talked about it. Yeah, I went. I think we both
Can we
went
start with
Zelda.
it?
Yeah, early. I think we both went
Okay.
Zelda.
There's one other category I was thinking of.
Got them all, man. I went through
Maybe not.
everyone.
We must have skipped.
I went through
Regardless,
topic by topic. Rashawn in the chat's going on. He's such a From Software guy, but he believes it's Santa Monica Studios and God of War. I mean, it's my pick too, for sure. Like for me, again, I don't have a horse in the race because I haven't touched Elden Ring. I just think that the votes will be there for Elden Ring. I think that Elden Ring is profound enough of a game that it will overcome the hype of the God of War. I think that From Software will win its second Game Awards, Game of the Year in 3 years. What was Sekiro 19? I think so. Yeah, it was 19.
okay.
Here's the question:
Well,
when did Jedi Fallen Order come out?
19.
So 19 because it didn't count because it came out too late.
Didn't even think of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what a list, and what I think is like a relatively quiet year. You had some heavy hitters, but there's some years where I'm like, I can't keep up with everything.
I disagree. Like I understand that from a perspective. I understand where you could come from with quiet, but man, just look at that indie debut list and that indie game of the year list, and then look at the game of the year list.
It's a lot of repeat offenders, and that's not a bad thing to say that they're like a lot of the same lists, but like I don't know. There's some years where I'm like, hey, there's a ton of 8 or 9 out of 10 games, and this year it felt like there were a few 9 or 10 out of 10s, and then down to like 7 after that. Like there wasn't a lot of mid-range games, like a Jedi Fallen Order, where it could win Game of the Year in a year that was like kind of quiet, depending on who
I
you asked.
understand. I just think the mid range was so heavy in the top two. There's never been a top two like this. There's never been a top two like this. Where we don't know. We don't know which one is like I don't know. I can point 2017 maybe with Breath of the Wild.
What about 2018? I mean, you had
God of War and
Spider-Man and something else.
Yeah, I just don't think it was the same level.
Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2. That's what it was. Like that was kind of crazy. It wasn't for us so much, but there was a lot that year.
That's true. That's a close one. I mean, but again, those are the two. There's no other.
People loved Assassin's Creed that year, which is funny to say.
Odyssey.
But Yeah, like
Who
there
could
was a
forget
lot.
Mario Tennis Aces? Yeah, you're right. You're right. But I mean, for me, that's a great year. The Celeste came out that year. Like there's a lot. There's a lot in 2018.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like two games like this. Two games like this. I think that God of War and Red Dead are close. That's close. That's real. That's probably the only other time this has happened. But
All right.
damn,
So it's
dude.
McDavid and Eichel.
No, it's McDavid and McDavid, dude.
It's McDavid and Matthews, we'll say.
It's
Um,
McDavid and McDavid, bro. They're the same.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll find out in a few weeks what that looks like. What? We ready to jump into guess the game?
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So we're gonna play guess the game here. We've been getting pretty good at this. I got it just in the nick of time on my last or second to last question, the last episode of Busy Sticks. John's gonna ask me. I've got a game in my head. He's gonna ask some yes or no questions to try to figure out what game I'm thinking about.
Okay. I've got 15 questions, right? Are you going to keep track of the guesses or would you like me to?
No, I'll do it.
Okay. 15 questions. You have a game in mind. I have to start somewhere. But where I will start is, did this game launch on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 generation?
No.
Okay. Did not. On the stick generations, did this game launch on the Xbox 360, PS3 generation?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Getting crazy out of the gate here, folks.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. That would have been, so 360 PS3 was 04 or 5, 05, 05, I would say. 05. Okay, I'm just going to head upwards. Did this game come out on the Xbox Series / PlayStation 5 generation?
Yes.
That's very helpful. That's very helpful. So it released.
Oh, yeah.
It released on that generation. That was my third question, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Is this game playable on the Nintendo Switch?
No.
No. Switch can't handle the Series X on the PS5. Of course not.
No way, Jose.
Of course not. All right. So we're on PS5. We're on Series X, possibly. Is this game exclusive to any console platform?
Yes.
It is. Okay. It is. So it's not Xbox.
Probably not.
Is this game a part of a franchise?
Ooh. Yes.
It is. Yes, it is. It is. It is. It is. Okay. Part of a franchise. Part of a franchise. That doesn't really help me. I don't know. All the PlayStation 5 games come out.
Right.
Better not be Returnal. That's not part of a franchise. That's all I can think of. It's like on the bubble. Not on the bubble. That's not a franchise. It's a franchise. Okay. What am I at question wise?
You've asked 6 already.
Okay.
Doing good.
Is this game playable on PS4?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay. Is this game Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart?
No.
Whoa!
Good guess. Really good guess. Damn it.
Oh man, I went in. I went all in.
Fits the criteria, but it is not.
Whoa.
8 questions done.
8 questions done. It's not Ratchet and Clank. What games are?
You absolutely have this.
I'm sure I do. I'm just not close in my head yet. I'm sure I'll connect the dots. I'm sure.
We talked about it. It's so funny from this perspective.
I know.
Oh my gosh, you will have it.
Right.
Yes, you will.
Oh my god. The PS4 part's throwing
Right.
me off. It really is. It really is throwing me off.
Yeah.
Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm frozen right now. I'm frozen.
Let it seep in because I was frozen too, but I had a comeback there last week.
Yeah, you
2
sure
weeks.
did. You got that one.
The cream will rise to the top, you know. You'll get there.
Yeah. What is happening?
I'm gonna let you sort it out.
Okay. You can let me sort it out. Is it Astro's Playroom?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
buddy.
think that might be the only other PlayStation 5
That's
exclusive.
it. That's it. So that came out 2 years ago, basically this week.
That's
We
awesome.
talked about Ragnarok and the DualSense and all this stuff. It just felt right that that was the game to talk about.
That's a good
And
one,
it's a game
man.
that you and I love so much. If I'm not mistaken, we had it ranked 4th on our Game of the Year each for 2020. So yeah, Astro's Playroom, man. I was like, he's either going to get there real fast or maybe it'll take a little bit.
That's a great
So
pick. That's a great game. You crushed it.
Ratchet, man, that was a good one too. It didn't even occur to me, but it fit all of those bullet points.
Yeah, I could have gone with like platformer, animation. I could have gone a lot of the ways where it would have kept leading me towards Ratchet.
You narrowed it down pretty quickly and did a good job. Once you hit Ratchet, though, I thought it was going to get us to maybe like question 11 or 12 after that because I was
Right.
like, maybe you'll be stuck. Great job all around there. All right, folks, that went really fast, not like last time we played this game. So if you have a guess the game suggestion, I think you should get a hold of us on social media. Let us know. Only let one of us know, by the way,
Good point.
because we're always playing against each other. And yeah, maybe we'll use it in a future episode of Busy Sticks. Almost said Geeks Got Game there. Wow. Throwback. John, we'll wrap up this episode of Busy Sticks. Where can people find you on social media and what can people look forward to on the Geekiverse?
You can find me at Disruptoid on all things social. Look forward to our Black Panther Wakanda Forever review. We just recorded that. It's not up as of this moment, but if you're watching this on YouTube or listening on a podcast, then it's up. It will for sure be up. That was a fun episode. We talked a lot about that movie, and what a ride it was.
It was truly wonderful and worthy of the legacy of one Chadwick Boseman, if I do say so myself. Check that out. I can be found at I am Josiah on social media. Thanks for tuning in live at twitch.tv/thegeekiverse. Whether you're watching it or listening to it on youtube.com/thegeekiverse or listening on podcast services around the globe, we greatly appreciate you. We've got our charity stream coming up. We've got Geeks Give Back. That's December 3rd. That's a 12-hour stream. What's the purpose of that? We are trying to raise money for Make-A-Wish Foundation, Western New York. We're going to have donations throughout the day, hopefully. We'll have giveaways, prizes, new videos, live shows, and of course, playing video games. And maybe, just maybe, Derek Kramer eats something spicy. We shall see. For John Fick, I'm Josiah Leroy. Thanks again for tuning in to this episode of Busy Sticks. Have a wonderful week.